Jerusalem Talks ND is brought to you by the Academic Center of the University of Notre Dame in Jerusalem.
My name is Daniel Schwake, and I'm the Executive Director of the University of Notre Dame's Academic Center in Jerusalem. In this second season of Jerusalem Talks ND, we want to explore Catholic perspectives on the Holy Land. As Notre Dame's representatives in Jerusalem, we often grapple with what it means to be a university defined by its Catholic character within our local and regional context. Why does the Holy Land matter to Catholics? What do Catholics abroad know about Christian communities who live in this land? How should that inform conversations about this place at a theological, social, and political level? The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has made these questions more relevant, which becomes evident in situations like today, not only for those of us who call the Holy Land their home, but also for millions worldwide. To illuminate some of these questions, we asked Professor Avraham Burg, a faculty member at our center, to embark on an investigative journey that tries to give voice to the diverse Catholic community in the Holy Land. In this episode, our guest is Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa, who is the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, the highest pastoral authority for the Roman Catholics on the Holy Land.
Peace on you, Cardinal Pizzaballa.
Peace on you, thank you.
Your Eminence, you are the Cardinal of Jerusalem, maybe the first in history, the Latin Patriarch, the first in modern history of the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem. What does that mean?
Oh, I have to learn also. Even 1 year passed since then was a complicated year, let's say, because of the political situation. So I couldn't have much time to think about this aspect of my life, of my service here. Does it mean? I think means, first of all, the attention of the Catholic Church, of the Pope, of Francis in this case, to Jerusalem and to the meaning of Jerusalem. As you know, Pope Francis is very sensitive about the so-called peripheries.
Sure.
Jerusalem is, in a way, the heart of the life of the Christian faith, because
that's the place it happened.
Exactly, but also sometimes periphery. At least for the Catholic Church, is a periphery. Periphery means not just the border of the territory, but means also place of poverty, conflict, tensions, problems of all different kinds. And in this context, periphery is quite the right terminology, yes.
I wonder about your journey. Here is a boy born in Cologno al Serio, next to beautiful Bergamo, and finds himself for life, unless something else will come out. But as the Cardinal of Jerusalem, how does it work? How this boy became the Cardinal?
This is also sometimes I question myself.
Okay.
So I come, as you said, from Cologno Serio, a small village. Small village from North Italy.
Religious?
At that time, I was religious.
Okay.
Now the secularization process arrived there also. North Italy is becoming more and more secular. We are imitating our brothers from the North Europe. But at that time, it was very religious. Was also agriculture culture at that time. And also I remember the priests of my village were 4 priests, but especially one. They were very popular, very devoted, beloved by the people, and they loved the people also. So when I was a child, I felt that I want to be like them. I couldn't organize the life or the future. It's complicated. You know, children, they want to follow examples. And this image, this idea, this attitude remained to all my life in different modalities, of course, in different ways, ups and downs, like always. But this idea remains always stable.
How high in the church hierarchy were you that your mentors, one of these 4 priests, or 4 of them, saw you climbing up? Where was the last station they saw you on the move?
Oh, these priests, you mean?
Yeah.
They all now are in heaven. They saw me in the seminary the last time.
When you quite early in your
quite
career.
early, exactly. Yes.
Okay, and then one day Pope calls you and says, "Listen, I have something for you. You're going to be the Patriarch of Jerusalem."
Oh,
What goes through you?
this was terrible shock. I have
Really?
to say, it was in 2016, 8 years ago. I didn't expect this at all. Also because I'm Franciscan, I'm an Italian. I live here 35 years now, so I'm not new to the Holy Land, but I'm at the same time also I'm a foreigner. And the last patriarch were all locals, Arabs, Jordan, Palestine and Jordan and so on. So I was sure that there is not such a risk for me. And then when I received the news, not the question, just the news, communication that I have to become first an apostolic administrator and a bishop here, for me was a big surprise, very big surprise. Not easy also to accept.
You moved back and forth from Rome, here, Rome, back and forth. And then when you were nominated, you said something that left me 2 days of trying to understand what you say. You said, "I stay amongst you in order to walk with you." So you stay or you walk?
Both.
How does it work?
I mean, to stay among, I mean to be in, to be with them in solidarity. Doesn't mean that you agree with them, but in solidarity.
Who is them? Here?
Then my people,
Who are your people?
the Christians.
Who are the Christians?
The local Christians here, the Christians, the Arab Christians, Palestinian Christians, Israeli Christians, foreigners, all those who have the same faith of mine and belong to the same church are part of my life. My life is for them. Prophet Jeremiah, maybe you heard about him.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah.
So he was with his people. He didn't agree all the time with them.
On the contrary, he was
Exactly.
opposing them sometimes.
Yes. But when they were sent to exile, he went with them.
He walked with them, yeah.
So it's the same.
Let's stay with them, okay? It's a them divided by language, by nationalities, by locations, by faith, by politics. How do you make one out of the many? How do you make an egg out of the omelette?
It's very difficult. It's not simple, especially this last year, where the polarization of the positions became so evident and also so painful, where everyone wants you to be their voice, and sometimes their voice, their vision is unilateral.
So you have Catholic soldiers at the Israeli army, and you have Catholic people in Gaza whom you visited, and you have Catholic in Lebanon, and which is next door neighbor of yours. How you contain them all? How you build a bridge?
There is no solution. The first thing is to be with them. We go back to the previous point. It's not a moment where we can discuss, argue about the politics, about what they are living. The first thing is to be with them, express solidarity, empathy. Let them understand that they are not alone. First. Second, also it's important for me to find a language which is not always simple, especially in this polarized.
You mean value language, not Hebrew, Arabic, or
value language?
Value
Yes,
language,
value language,
okay.
of course. Value language, where you say the truth without becoming part of the struggle, political struggle. I mean, to remind to my community, which I am pastor of, that our starting point should be the gospel. Without neglecting the life where we are living, the truth, the need of justice, dignity, etc. But we have to start from there. It's not always simple. It's not always accepted. In this last year, I received a lot of criticism by my community.
coming from the people or the pastors or the clergy?
Both.
How the people, how the individual in the last of the churches somewhere comes to you and say,
There is an email.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a venue now? They address you and they say, Your Eminence, I do not agree with you?
Yes.
Like that?
It's very simple. Sometimes I receive very, very tough emails from people, even recently, honestly. And it's not, I had to learn how to receive them as a father. Able to sometimes try to understand, first of all, if they are right or not. And sometimes you have also to talk with someone else to have different ideas. Otherwise, you can fall in the idea that I'm totally wrong. But at the same time, not to judge them and to keep the relation open, even if they disagree. Even if sometimes they not only disagree, they are also goes beyond. Sometimes is not just disagreement; is something else.
Anger, fear, frustration.
Frustration, and also not insulting, but at least accusing and blaming and so on.
I want to stay, you said language, I want to take a word out of this language, a word you used, the Father. The whole church structure is built around the family image, the Holy Family.
Yes.
In a way, the church is the mother, and the shepherd is the father. Patriarch is a father. The Pope is a father. But it's there is a very interesting collision here, because we live in an area in which families are very patriarchal. The father is strong. The father is defender of the family, the provider of the family. He's the pillar of strength. Out there in our patriarch societies. And here you are a father, maybe not you personally, but in the church, in the monastery, quite weak. Weak because the whole family structure collapses all around us, not just here in the region. And here in the region, the father cannot defend his children because of armies and atrocities and persecution. So, in a church in which the family image is so strong, and in a reality in which the family image collapses, what kind of a father are you?
Father, we cannot have all the solutions to all the problems.
But I can have all the questions.
Yes, all the questions. Because the father is present there. Fathers cannot always give answer and provide all what is necessary for his children, but he's there. He's not escaping.
Give me some more. Give me an illustration or a feeling that somebody comes and says, "Father, save me," and you say, "My hand is short."
First of all, you have to deal with the feeling of sometimes you are powerless. Mm-hmm. The need is so enormous, and you cannot answer all the needs. But we have to organize things in a proper way so that all what is possible to do, you are doing. The church, the institutions you are guiding, and so on. And this should be clear and visible. So the people see that they have an address. Mm-hmm. That's very important.
So it's to have home.
To have a home.
Mm-hmm.
We have an address, we have a home, we have a person to talk with that is not able to answer all your questions, all you need, but is there. This is the answer I can find right now. And also, sometimes, people also, especially in this period, don't need only support, financial or material support, whatever. They need a word, consolation.
Spiritual guidance.
Spiritual guidance, but also human consolation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a hug, a presence, a visit, as I went to Gaza also just for this, says more than a million of words or many other gestures.
Let's stay there for just one more minute with your permission, okay?
Of course, you decide. You are guiding.
No. It's a conversation that I learn. You're the mentor and I'm the follower, okay? We said that the church is the family or the home. The identities of various communities, what is the first identity? Is it national? Is it linguistic, which means I'm Palestinian, or I'm an Arab, which is defined by language, or I'm a Christian? What is the first home of the people?
I don't think there is a first and second. One of difficult. This is real difficult sometimes, given the complicated situation we are living in, where the identities are always in conflict with something, internally and also externally, of course. But for Palestinian Christians, they are Palestinian and Christians. So their identity, their national identity is Palestinian, and they live it as Christians, not first and foremost. Of course, there are values as Christians that are part of your identity, but this part is not cancelling the national identity as Palestinian, but is contributing, is bringing to the national identity different colors, different languages, and nuances, which is something make the life, of course, more complicated, but also richer.
The Lebanese author Amin Maalouf, he wrote about augmented identities, that nowadays nobody has one identity.
Yeah.
You have various identities, and sometimes this is the first one, sometimes that's the second one.
Complex and dynamic identities. Yeah. It's not something static that you cannot untouched remain there. Needs to, and also build little by little. Things are changing, built by your awareness, what we are studying, what we are living, what also we are receiving from abroad. So identity is always a work in progress.
I will ask in a second about identities in the region, but you spoke about the dual Palestinian Christian identity. If I remember correctly, when you were appointed or nominated as Custos, the custodian of the place, you express a very deep concern about the increasing immigration of Christians living the Holy Land, the Terra Santa, and especially the territories under the Palestinian Authority. What troubled you then?
The same things are troubling now. The Palestinian territories, West Bank, or Palestine, according to the different opinions about, is always the life there is becoming more and more complicated.
Sure.
From economic point of view, from the social point of view, from the political point of view, everything becomes a struggle, whatever. Also the most simple things, go to the hospital, go to the school, go to the work, sometimes is a struggle. So people are tired of this. And especially Christians. Usually Christians, they have a very high scholarization, they have high education. Also, they want to express themselves, to have also the freedom to express themselves in the life, in the job,
the public sphere,
and so on. This is becoming more and more complicated. So, and the temptation to say I can find myself and I express myself better abroad is there.
You told me, ask our colleagues on another project that we were involved. One day you said, the church is very patient. And I asked myself, is it possible that the church has a long-term patience, but the believers and the Christians of the contemporary reality lost the church patience?
I think the questions depends on where you put yourself and how you put yourself in front of the challenges we have in the church.
You is the patriarch, your eminence, or you is the individual?
Generic you.
Okay.
Also myself, of course.
Sure.
The starting point is faith.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to consider the life of the church, internally, externally, all the challenges we have, without faith, humanly, it's better to go abroad and leave everything. From the human point of view, for the organization point of view, everything, professional point of view, doesn't make sense. We are crazy to live in such a terrible situation, and also to live in the world, the dynamic of the church, to understand the dynamic of the church and so on. Only faith. Faith means that you believe in God, first of all. You believe in eternal life, transcendence. So your consideration, your approach to the reality is not, the starting point is not that everything finishes here.
Yeah, there is life after you that has continued, and you are a link in a chain.
Link in a chain. Not only that is, and you give to all what we are living a different perspective and different proportion also. I know you disagree with this.
No. As a comment, which is not about disagreeing. It's not my role. My role is to listen and to learn here. But when you live in a reality in which, let's say, it's faith, no faith, on or off, I understand. But when your faith is in a collision with two other faiths, Judaism and Islam, which are much more aggressive towards Christianity. Christianity is the only element in the region which does not have troops and armies and states and even language for political realities. So where am I, the individual, vis-a-vis these super religious powers?
This is superhuman powers. Usually, according to the history, if you look at the history, they are not eternal, they'll finish. The Christian faith is based on revelation. Jesus is the fullness of revelation, and he gave us the key to interpret the life in the world and to live in the world based on values. That every human being is an image of God, and this is common.
Which is prior to Christianity, prior to Judaism, prior to Islam. Mm-hmm. We are first humans.
Exactly.
And then we have a second name.
And then justice, dignity, equality, and so on. And this is the way today Christians build their relations. I think even Jews and Muslims or others are able to, it's possible to create a dialogue with them, not all of them, of course, and so on. And not to be afraid to be a loser.
So I'm a visitor to the loser's church, and I look around, I go out, I go to a synagogue of extreme Judaism, I go to a mosque of fanatic Islam. Not everybody is fanatic, not everybody is extremist, but those who are. Can I draw a conclusion out of my visit that Christianity nowadays in the region is the religion of pacifism?
It's a non-violent religion.
Give me the distinction between my question and your answer.
It depends what pacifism means. If being pacifist means that you refuse any kind of use of force.
Even to defend yourself.
Even to defend yourself. Christians are not pacifist in this way. But we refuse the use of violence as a form for the solution of conflicts.
Not only here.
Everywhere.
So it's the same policy of the church in Ukraine, in Africa, in Latin America?
In the past, we used the violence.
Tell me about it.
You should know.
Yeah, I said tell me about it, yeah.
Yes. And now we became aware that was wrong. And the Christian faith...
When is the now? Sorry to interrupt you, Your Eminence. What is the now?
The last, is a process.
The last century, maybe?
The last century became very... Also before, you can find voices here and there. But the church was part of the establishment, political establishment in Europe or wherever.
Okay.
Now and not anymore. On contrary.
Yeah, there were cardinals in governments.
Exactly.
Richelieu.
We will not see anymore this. Now the awareness that church will be free doesn't mean that you don't do politics, but you do politics not entering into politics dynamics, but talking about political values as dignity and so on. So we learned this. We understood what the mixture between faith and politics and power. Politics is power. What could create? We saw in the past. We are seeing also now here.
Okay.
And we want to, going back to your question, as Christians, we don't want to be part of our past and also of this power struggle. But we want to remain a voice of freedom, calling to the person who wants to listen to us to have a different way to live here.
I understand. No, I hear you. You spoke about here. Let's define the here as the Terra Santa.
Yeah.
The Terra Santa for the Jews is one thing. The Terra Santa for the Palestinians as political communities is a different thing. What are the boundaries of the Christian Catholic Terra Santa?
You mean political boundaries?
And give me a definition.
No.
Is it an abstract?
No, it's not an abstract.
So what is it?
Christian faith is historical faith. Historical means that we believe that God revealed himself and talk with men, and also we believe as Christian, he himself incarnated. So there is no event without place.
Okay.
So all the Holy Land is the land which is testimony of the event of the history of Revelation. Together with the history of Revelation, we have the geography of Revelation. Now, you can start as Pope John Paul II wanted during the Jubilee to start from Ur Kasdim, I don't know in English.
Somewhere in Mesopotamia, in Iraq of today.
From Abraham.
No, actually Ur Kasdim is Urfa in Turkey.
I don't know.
One of them. Okay.
I have no idea.
But far, far away.
Anyway, for us, Holy Land, but now, honestly, Holy Land is what we call Israel-Palestine.
It's between the Jordan and the Mediterranean.
Yes.
Now, in this, between Jordan and the Mediterranean, you gave testimonies one day, I don't remember where you said it, that the communities are segregated into the lingual definitions. Everybody into his or her language. So you have the Hebrew-speaking Christians that you served for so many years, and you have the Arab-speaking, and you have the Aramaic one, and then. Can you describe the difference in practice, in living, in celebrating, and even in emotions and sentiments between the different communities of yours according to the lingual key?
Oh, this is quite complicated. I think the Diocese of Jerusalem, Diocese of Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, is one of the most complicated dioceses in the world, if not the most complicated. Geographically, linguistically, by composition. We cover 4 different countries: Jordan, Israel, Palestine, and Cyprus, including
both sides of Cyprus?
Both sides of Cyprus.
So it's 5, actually. Okay.
If the Greek Cypriots here listen to you...
Okay, 4. Good. Okay. I agree. Okay.
So the majority of our... So we have different composition. Majority of our believers, my community, are Arab-speaking. Arab-speaking, but are not one community. There are Jordanians, there are Palestinians who live in Israel, called Israeli Arabs, if you prefer, and Palestinians in Palestine. Then we have the Hebrew Catholic community. There are now few thousand, 2,000 to 3,000. We have the foreign workers, Filipinos, Indians, and so on, doing the work that the Israelis don't do anymore, about 100,000. Then we have Cypriots. In Cyprus, we have also Catholics, about 30,000 in the Greek side, about 10,000 in the
Turkish northern
part. Then we have refugee camps in the buffer zone between the two sides of Cyprus, thousands of people coming from Syria, Afghanistan, Turkey, Africa, and so on. So quite complicated. Going back, the Arab speaking, they speak the same language, but they don't. Sometimes also they see differently things because they are living different situations. Jordanians,
different people divided by the same language.
Jordanians are a normal country with defined borders, with a very clear political structure, and they don't have all the tensions and the problems, also the identity complexes that you can find in what we call the Holy Land, Israel-Palestine. Then we have the Israeli Arabs, the Palestinians who live, Christian Palestinians who live in Israel with the Israeli citizenship. To define them, you have to say what they are not. They are Israelis, but they are not Jews. They are Arabs, but they are not Muslims. Minority within a minority. And with a lot of complications in building their life in this complicated complex, especially.
But we must say very successful community when it comes to the individuals and the quality of education, business, and impact.
But when they have to talk about their identity, they are
very complicated.
Yeah. Then we have Palestinians in Palestine. They are living totally different situation. Their identity is very clear, but always affected by the conflict. So it's very difficult to talk about identity, about future, and so on when they have to struggle for the basic things of their life and so on. Then we have the Hebrew Catholics. Hebrew Catholics, they live on the other side of the line. And this year became very evident, very clear, painfully sometimes also clear. They speak Hebrew, and their native language is Hebrew for most of them. So they are totally, completely within the Israeli, which is understandable, it's not a problem, in the Israeli Jewish society.
If I'll ask you, I know the answer, I'll ask you, so what makes them one? You say the Christian faith, the creed, the credo, the catechismus, whatever. Okay, so I'll tell you, I'll ask you, so Your Eminence, within this creed, maybe the pillar, the cornerstone is love, the famous, beautiful Christian love, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about love for a second.
Oh my God.
No, love for God, let's talk about this Christian love. And I would like to challenge you with various challenges about this good old concept of love. First, we live in an era that all passions and all expressions of emotions are so powerful in movies, in videos, in person to person. I mean, there is no subtleness anymore. Mm-hmm. And then we live in a region, and maybe not just in our region, that hatred and the politics of fear and hate is getting stronger and stronger.
True.
Okay? So what's the role of Christian love versus all of these challenges?
It's not simple. Christians are not angels. Huh? Christians are human beings like all the others. First, second, faith is never, Christian faith, at least I talk as Christian now, faith is never an abstract. It's always incarnate in a culture. The way you express your faith as Israeli and Palestinians, the same faith, but expressed in different way, different attitude and so on. And you belong to your people in everything. So it's not in good and bad also. It is normal and so on. So, and love is the first commandment. in the Gospel, we are going to read this one of the next Sundays. One of the scribes asked Jesus, what is the first of commandments? Jesus answers, the first commandment, love God. And Jesus adds, the second is like the first, love your brothers and sisters, your neighbor. So this is the content, this is the, the nucleus of the Christian faith. Now, we are faithful to this, or we are not faithful to this. This is another question. So this is the nucleus. Then, first. Second, we have also to distinguish the personal level and community level. I don't know if it is clear. Personal level, you are called to love in all the conditions, always. And we have wonderful examples, even recently, of Christians that are going to be killed during the Daesh period, for instance, ISIS,
the Yazidis,
Yazidis, and also in Syria, in Libya, in Egypt, and so on, that are able to express forgiveness and love for those who are persecuting them. We forgive you before being killed. These wonderful examples and so on. At the community level, the dynamic is different.
Hang on. When you went to Gaza in the middle of the war, you did two things with Gaza. The first, you stood on the Israeli side in front of the fence of the wall and said, take me instead of all the hostages.
Yes.
Didn't work. Then you walked into your community, into your people there. And did you feel this forgiveness? Did you feel this compassion? Or you felt anger or fear?
Anger, no. Misunderstanding, disagreement, yes. Anger, no.
So this is part of the
And
love.
also, I want to say one thing. I was in Gaza talking with the medical director of the Al-Ahli Hospital, Anglican Hospital, took refuge in our church. He said, a thing that I keep reminding to myself is, we Christians, we don't have violence in our DNA. We are not able to hate in this way and to express the hate. And I like this. And he was there under the bombs.
So go up to the communal level.
Communal level, there are also other dynamics enter. Forgiveness and love are there. But love also needs conditions sometimes. Dignity, justice. At the community level, personally, even if you want to kill me and make unjust decision, I can receive this. But at community level, you have to defend the rights of the community for dignity, equality, justice, and so on. And so their love needs also, to be in, coherent with all these values. Love is not just emotion. You need also an education to love.
An act, and it's an action.
It's an action, but also you need to learn how to love.
Is there any place in the world that you can say the government rules or governs with the philosophy of the Christian love?
I don't think it doesn't.
No.
There is such a thing.
So the challenge is still there for the church.
I think, all the governments, they have to govern according to the political and power.
Still, if you educate the ministers and the prime ministers and the members of parliament and the voters, according to the beautiful educational system you spoke about, should produce a system of love.
On this, I think we failed.
Okay. You're a cardinal.
Yeah.
As you said, when I was a little boy in Bergamo, wherever, next to Bergamo, I didn't know I will be. Now you're a cardinal. Cardinal comes from cardo, which is the pivot, which is you are the hinge of the church, between and between and between. You're a mediator between so many things. When you go to the Collegium Cardinalium, do they understand your cardo? Do they understand where you are?
No.
Explain to me. You walk into the room.
First of all, they understand, especially last year, the first thing they say, we pray for you, we are close to you, sure.
Sure.
All these things, okay.
That's good.
But when you start talking about what we are living, they simply don't understand.
Show me.
I understand from their faces that they are listening to me, but they don't understand what I'm talking about.
Like, for example, the interaction between the West and the East, which is the frontier here.
Yeah, the frontier, yes. They don't understand. They don't even understand, especially Catholic Church. If you're not from East, they don't understand what East is. Besides, be dressed in strange ways and so on. And all the complexity, these different levels, political, religious, social, identities, borders, all these complexities that mixed up here in a very complicated but also fascinating way, I have to say, if you have never been here, you cannot understand.
Is it because, I understand what they do not understand, but is it because that the Christian dialogue or dialogues here at the Holy Land is completely different than the necessary dialogue at the West at large? At what sense? At the West, by the beginning, the middle, and the end of the day, you talk more or less with people like you.
Yes.
And here you have to accept and respect people who are so different, and the conversation is so tough.
Which is wonderful. When I go to the West and talk to them, honestly, most of the conversation are very boring.
Okay.
And I feel, maybe boring is not the right word, but I feel that the conversation is superficial. We don't go deep.
Is it because we, the non-Christian in the Terra Santa, are not dialoguist, not dialoguing people?
No.
We have to have a dialogue with a non-dialogist?
It's not true that you are not dialoguing people.
Isn't it?
No, of course. We have to distinguish the institutions. The institutions are all everywhere, here more than somewhere else. We say, not paralyzed, we say, in Hebrew you can translate megubas.
Megubash, crystallized.
Crystallized, yeah. And so on. But society is a vibrant society. You can find a lot of vibrant elements in the life of the society, both Israelis and Palestinians.
You spoke earlier about the turning of the middle of the previous century, that the Christianity realized that politics, the current Christianity, current Catholicism, that power and political games are very dangerous, and you should offer an alternative to it. For many, many years, especially since the end of the two world wars and the atrocities all over Europe, especially towards the Jews and the Nostra Aetate and paragraph 4, and then, it looks like de facto the church has theology of guilt.
I don't know if theology of guilt, I never heard this, the first time I heard this. I think we still have some complexes.
Can you extend these complexes now to the Palestinians as well? Or it's only restricted or dedicated for Jews? Because of your responsibilities.
There are two different things.
Okay.
Toward Jews and toward Palestinians. Jews were in Europe, Palestinians were not in Europe.
Okay.
So then it's different. But also there is something common. For instance, the Crusaders complex. We wanted to conquer Jerusalem.
That's right. You had the kingdom of Jerusalem.
Yeah. We failed, and we understood it was wrong with the time. But now we are afraid to talk about Jerusalem, not to be misunderstood. And we spiritualize everything about Holy Land because of the not only for this, but this is one of the aspects, and so on. By the way, even also the other way around, not just once, all the extremists called us crusaders. Still, nowadays. Daesh, ISIS called us crusaders a few years ago. So it's still there. We became so aware especially after the atrocities, the Shoah of the
Second World War.
Second World War. This is not just Christian anyway, but especially the Western culture, where Christians also are. They at least till this generation, I'm not sure the next generation will be the same. They feel uneasy when they have to relate with the Jewish people and so on, because of the past and so on.
You described few times, here you hinted, but when you were in the Tel Aviv University and some of your articles and sermons.
You are reading all what I wrote? Oh my God.
Not all. All is what is available. I mean, I take it that you have some poems in your drawer that you never reveal, but but you in a way describe the journey of the dialogue from the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, of the Redeemer, to a statement that a Christian nowadays cannot be an anti-Semite. This was a kind of a journey you described.
Yes.
Can you give us some milestones in this journey?
First of all, if it was some years ago.
Sure.
What I remember, I said, first of all, that we Christians are Christian because Jews received the message of Jesus. The first believers were Jews.
Okay, originally for sure, yeah.
For sure. So that's not that granted, because you say that the Christians are replaced, they are the new Israel and so on, the Jews refuse Jesus, which is not true.
No, if you go to the teaching of Cardinal and a few others, they say, listen, originally the New Testament is the interpretation of the Old one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also Pope Benedict XVI in Deus Caritas Est, in his letter, one of the first parts said that there is nothing new in New Testament. What is new is the presence of Jesus that gives new light to all what was all the history of revelation.
Jesus himself said that he didn't come to change.
Exactly.
Maybe a generation or two later, but it's different.
It was very important to stress this, because the refrain was that it was a total separation and so on. First. Then we have to acknowledge all the difficulty of the polemics with the father of the church, when the church also became part of the political power with the empire and so on. Was necessary to keep the unity also maybe of the people. So all those who were not Christians and not Catholic also at the time were citizens of the second class. And also
like the Augustinus theology that you Jews should be humbled in order to give a testimony to the greatness of the New Testament.
And then for many centuries there was this attitude, anti-Judaic, not anti-Semitic. Anti-Judaic means not all agree on this. I also have some questions about. But anyway, anti-Judaic say, as we said, we cannot kill Jews.
Because we need them as witnesses.
Exactly. So anti-Semitism wanted to kill the Jews. And also all these, so the ghettos, all the persecutions, all what happened, all the interpretations that were become part of the life of the church. I remember that I said this. As we said, I coming from a small village in North Italy where there are no Jews at all. Never been Jews there. And I remember one of my aunt said, talking with at that time everyone go to the church, but not all. Someone, I don't go to the church, and she called them, these are Jews. They are not Jews.
But they deny the church in their life.
Yes. Okay. So these Jews are not going to the church. She never saw a Jew in her life, and so on. Just for example. Then, of course, all the past, and then all the process of to become more and more aware of the human rights, dignity, and so on, that include all the people. And then, of course, the Second World War was the turning point.
Let me talk with your aunt for a second, okay? The old conversation between the church and the Jews was as follows. The Jews were stateless, powerlessness, and the church was powerful, sometimes very political, many times had a state or couple of states. Nowadays, Israel has a physical power. The Jews are having physical power, have sovereignty, have military force, and the church has a moral argument.
More or less, yes.
I mean, allegedly, no, it has. So it's actually upside down relationship. How does it change the structure of the conversation between us?
It's interesting, of course. The actual Christians don't have this complex that we lost the power.
Okay. We have Joe Biden. Joe Biden is our power.
Oh, no. Maybe it's your power, don't know.
No, not mine. My power is human relationship.
Yeah, so we don't have any more. Now we are very happy not to have any state, any power, and so on. And the idea and the awareness that our authority, if any, should be just moral authority. Nothing else is very deep in our DNA. So we don't have this complex toward to talk with anyone, Jewish or not Jewish, who has the power and so on. I have to say that our relations, our idea also, the Jewish people, now, our idea, according to our idea, we have high expectation from the Jewish people.
It's difficult for us to grow into your expectations.
We receive all what we received as faith, we receive from you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now there are changes, whatever, and so on. But the basic are there. So, from the Jewish state, we expect that these values that we received could become real visible.
Your Eminence, on many things that we discuss, you said it's a difficult question. I'm not sure I have an answer. So it's very, very Jewish to leave questions open, okay?
But I answered more or less.
No, you were not political enough. You did not circumvent any of them. You are Your Eminence, but you are, in a way, in some other places, your beatitude. You are the blessed one. And I think this is coming from Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, for 5th chapter, from the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Bless us. Bless the people of the Terra Santa. Bless the people of the Holy Land.
Of course, we pray for all the people here.
Bless us.
You mean to do the blessing?
You're not just beatitude, the blessed one. You should be the blessing one.
The blessings are only God is blessing.
You are His emissary.
Yeah. So I want to pray for all the inhabitants of Holy Land: Jews, Christians, Muslims, believers, non-believers. I pray that God will bring to all of them comfort and consolation in this terrible time, and also light and wisdom. In order to be always worthy son and daughter of God.
Your Eminence, I'm humbled. I'm happy to be your both student, to have you as a mentor. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
Jerusalem Talks ND is brought to you by the Academic Center of the University of Notre Dame in Jerusalem. For more information, visit us at jerusalem.nd.edu.